Now let's start deploying our backend and frontend application to the production server. We're going to use the MongoDB Atlas for the production database, and we're going to use render to deploy the backend application, and we're going to use Netlify to deploy the front-end application. We have a lot of things to do. Let's go step by step. The very first thing is you need to create an account inside this MongoDB Atlas. Go to the MongoDB Atlas and create a new account. Once you create the new account, you will see this option called clusters. Just go ahead and create a cluster. Okay. When you are creating the cluster for the very first time, it will ask you to create the user. Just create the user and provide the password. Okay, once you created this cluster, it will take almost 5 minutes to create the cluster. Just wait for some time. Once the cluster is created, you will see inside this clusters, you will see this option. And next, I have already created the cluster with the name CloudShare. When I was developing the previous project, I have created the cluster name with a CloudShare. But if you are specifically creating the cluster for Musify application, just provide the name as Musify. Okay. Next, once we created the cluster, click on this connect. There are different options where we can connect it to the cluster. Okay, where we can connect it to this MongoDB cluster. So the very first thing is we have this drivers and compass. If you are connecting through the compass, then you can select this option and you will see this option. Just copy this and open the MongoDB compass. I'm going to just open up the MongoDB compass. I have already created the connection. So if I click on this plus icon, it will ask you to enter the URI. So let's enter the URI and you can provide the database password. Okay. And I have created the database user with the name Musify user, and I have also provided the password. Okay. So we can add the password here. Just replace the this with the actual password and you are good to connect to the cluster. So I have already connected to the cluster. You can see we have this CloudShare database and Musify database. Previously I have created this. I'm going to create a new database. So let's click on this create database. I will provide the database name Musify. I will add underscore Musify underscore let's call this transaction. Okay, Musify transactions. The collection name for now, I'm going to create a dummy collection name which is test and create this database. And you can see now we have created this Musify underscore transaction database. Inside this we are going to create the collections. Remember that this is just a cluster. Okay, inside the cluster we will have a different databases. Okay, just like CloudShare, Musify app, Musify transactions, we have a different databases, and we have created one of the database which is Musify underscore transactions for our project. Okay, now we can add this URL into our application.properties file also. Let's go to the Atlas. Let's go to the MongoDB Atlas and just copy the same, or you can close this and click on this connect and click on this drivers and just copy this, click done and open the application.properties in our backend code. Here I'm going to change this URL to the production URL. We need to replace with the database. So I'm going to remove this and I will add the actual password which I have created for the user. So I'm going to paste the password and rest everything remains same. And here we need to provide, after this slash, we need to provide the database name which is Musify underscore transactions. Okay, make sure to provide the correct name. Okay, this is the one that we have, Musify underscore transactions. Okay, so let me copy this and I'll paste it here. Okay, let's save this. Okay, so now we have added the database, the production database URL. Perfect. In case if you are unable to create the user when we are creating the cluster, what you can do is in the left hand side you will see this option called database access. Click on this. You can create a new database user here. Okay, click on this and it will ask you to provide the password. Okay, and the database username. Okay, the description you can provide and you can create a new user. Okay, I have already created this user, Musify user, and that's why I'm going to not create any new users. Perfect. So now we have created the database, also the cluster we have already created. That's why I did not create any new clusters. If you are using the free version inside this MongoDB Atlas, right, you cannot create the you cannot create the multiple clusters. Okay, if you want to create a multiple clusters, you need to upgrade to their paid version. But I recommend you to, if you are a student or if you are starting it for a trial, just go with one cluster and create as many number of databases you want inside this cluster. So that's why I've created this one cloud share cluster. Inside this I have created a multiple databases. Alright, perfect. Now the database is ready. Also inside this application or properties file, we have added this URL. Next we need to add the Cloudinary name, API key and secret key. You can go to the Cloudinary. I have already logged into my Cloudinary, and go to the settings and click on this API keys. Make sure to copy the cloud name and this API key and this secret key. All of the details you can copy it and add it here. Okay, the cloud name and the API key and the secret key. Okay, I will just close these files because later I'm going to add it. I don't want to reveal my secret key, all those informations, sensitive informations. Okay. Next, inside this Musify API, we need to create a Docker file. I have already created this Docker file. There are two stages. Okay, in the very first stage, we are going to install the Maven dependencies. Then we are going to, in the second stage, we are going to run the application. Let's explain. Let's walk you through that one by one. What we are doing here. First, very first line, we are actually importing the Maven. Okay, we are using the Eclipse Tumarin 21, and we are going to provide the alias name as builder. Okay, because we wanted to build this application, right? So we are going to use this Maven 21 builder. We are going to call it as a builder, and then we are going to create a working directory. So inside this, it is going to build the application. Next, we are going to copy this pom.xml file into the we are going to just copy all of the dependencies into the working directory, and then we are going to run the Maven. Okay, it is going to download all the dependencies which is inside this pom.xml file. Next, we are going to copy this entire source code into this ./src folder, and finally we are going to build the jar. Okay, while building the jar, we are going to skip the test. If you want to run the test cases also, you can remove this. This is the first stage 1. In the stage 2, what we are doing is we are going to run the application. So for that, we are going to use the JDK 21, and then we are going to set the working directory. So inside that runtime container, we are going to call this /app, and then we are going to copy the whatever we have built inside this, right? We are going to use that builder from the previous stage, and we are going to add it to the app.jar. We are going to call it as app.jar, and then we are going to expose the port 8080, and we are going to run the application. This is just a pretty simple, straightforward Docker file. Basically, we are going to download the Maven dependencies and we are going to run the application. Perfect. Let's close this. Now, what I will do is we need to first run the application locally, and we will test it whether we can able to connect it to the production database or not. I will start the application. I'm going to start it in debug mode. Okay, the application is started, and you can also see that the default user is created. Let's verify it. Go to the MongoDB compass and make sure that you should be in the production cluster, and in this Musify transactions, I'm going to just reload the collections, and you can see now the new collection is present, which is users. Click on this, you can see the admin user is created. Now I'm going to remove this test collection, so just drop this collection and enter the collection name and drop this. Perfect. Now we have created this collection, which is the users collection. Next, it is automatically created. Next, let's go to the Postman and we can test few endpoints. Go to the Postman and let's go to the login, and we have this login admin@musify.com, password admin123, portal, we are passing the portal as admin portal. I'm going to click on this send. Boom, we get the token. Perfect. Now we can able to connect it to the production databases, which is working as expected. Next, what we need to do is we need to deploy our Musify API into the render. Okay, let's go to the browser. First, you need to create a new account inside this render, and once you created a new account inside this render, we are going to use a free tier, and inside this render we can deploy the web services and static sites. We can also create the production databases. There are a bunch of services it will provide. Out of this, we are going to use this just to deploy this web service. Okay, the next thing what we need to do is first we have to, the process how we are going to deploy it to render is, first we are going to push our changes into the GitHub repository. From the GitHub repository, we are going to deploy it to render. First, let's go to the GitHub. If you don't have an account, go ahead and create a new account in GitHub. And after creating the account, create a new repository. Click on this plus icon and new repository. This is going to be Musify production app. Musify production app. You can provide the description if you want, and the visibility, I'll just make this to private. And I'm going to click on this create repository. Perfect. Next, we need to push our backend code into this repository, which is Musify production app. We have this production, we have this remote URL. Just copy this and go to the IDE, and I'm going to just open up the integrated terminal. Okay, here first of all let me clear this, and I'm going to initialize the git init git add dot. This is going to add all the files into the staging area. I will add the git commit message, git commit -m, which can provide the commit message, initial commit. Right now I will add the remote URL. Okay, so hit enter. Now we have added the remote URI. Git push origin master. This will push all of our changes into the master branch. Hit enter, and you can see it is pushed the changes into the remote repository. Now let's verify it. Let's go to the browser, and I'm going to reload this. Boom, you can see now we have this Docker file. All of our changes is present inside this master branch. Right now, from here we are going to deploy it to the render. Let's go to the render dashboard. I have already previously deployed the same application. Now I'm going to deploy it again. Click on this add new and click on this web service, and it will ask you to connect with different sources. We can use GitHub, Bitbucket or GitLab. I'm going to choose the GitHub, and I'm going to search for this repository, which is Musify production app. Click on this and wait for a few seconds, and you can see the name is Musify production app. Scroll down, the language Docker. Okay, by default it is selected as Docker because we have the Docker file inside it. And also you can, if you see right now there are no Java option is available. That's why we have created the Docker file, and through the Docker we are deploying it. And region, okay, let's select this region, and also scroll down. I'm going to select this as free version. That's fine. If you want, you can upgrade to the higher versions, like the paid instances you can use. That starter, standard, pro plus is there. I'm going to stick to the free version. You will get a 512 MB of RAM. And scroll down. If you want to add the environment variables, you can add the environment variables. But I'm good with all of these configurations. Make sure to select the repository, and you can provide the unique name if you want, and select the Docker as the language, the branch, master branch we are going to deploy it. Region, you can provide select a different region if you want, and that's it. And let's go ahead and click on this deploy web service. Just wait for a few seconds. This will take few minutes to deploy the application to the production server. And you can see this is the production application URL. So we can copy this. Okay, perfect. Application is deployed, and just click on this and go to the URL, this Musify URL. And first let's verify, do we have any public endpoint present or not. Let's go to the controller and this root controller API/health. Do we have this health check API endpoint? Let's go to this. Okay, let's verify this. Let's go to the browser /API/health, hit enter. Boom, you can see the API is working. Okay, our application is deployed into the production server. Perfect. Now we can just test this in our Postman also. Copy this URL and go to the Postman, and I'm going to just replace this with the production URL, and I'm going to click on this send. Wait for a few seconds. We should be able to get the token. Perfect. Awesome. Our production, whatever we have deployed into the production server, now we can able to access this through this URL. Our application is deployed into the production server and it is working as expected. Of course, you have encountered few errors in the logs, but you can ignore it. Our application is working as expected on this URL. Looks like there is an issue with this JWT token. Okay, but that's completely fine. You can ignore these errors. However, our application is deployed. Perfect. With this, now what we can do is we can deploy our front-end application into the Netlify, and we can connect our front-end application to this URL to make the API requests. Alright, first let's open the browser, and I have already created a new account inside the Netlify. I mean, like I have already created an account long time, and I have also deployed so much of many of the projects. Go ahead and create a new account in Netlify, and after this you need to open the front-end project, which is the admin panel. Let's open it inside the WebStorm or in the Visual Studio Code. Go to the API service. We need to change this URL. So let's get rid of this. We need to provide the production URL. Go to your render, or you can just copy this URL and paste it. That's it. Let's save this. Now we need to push these changes into the repository, the GitHub repository. From the GitHub, we are going to deploy to Netlify. The same process we are going to follow. Whatever the process we have followed for the backend applications, the same thing we are going to follow it. But instead of the render, we are going to use the Netlify. First, let's go to the GitHub and create a new repository. Musify production app admin. Okay, this is going to a private repository. Click create repository. Next, I'm going to copy this. Okay, I'm going to copy this remote URL and open the terminal. Let's add the initialize the git init, git add dot. This will add all the files into the remote staging area. Git commit. I will add the commit message. This is going to be an initial commit. Git. Okay, let's add the remote URL. Okay, git push. Okay, it is asking you the password. I will enter the password. Perfect. And now I'm going to push this git push origin master. This will push the repository into the master branch. Now if I go to the browser, reload this. Perfect. Now we have pushed our changes into the remote repository. Now from here we can deploy it to the render, not the render, Netlify. Let's go to our Netlify and click on this add new project, import an existing project. I'm going to select the GitHub or the source. I'll just authorize this, and I'm going to search for the repository, which is Musify production app admin. Select this. You can provide the project name if you want, and in the build settings it will ask you to provide the branch name, to which branch you want to deploy. I'm going to, okay, so let's wait for no results found. It should be shown the master branch. Okay, let me do one thing. I'll just go to the home and I'll import it again. Select the GitHub. Okay, we have already authorized it. I will just select the repository Musify production app admin. Select this, and you can see branch to deploy. It will automatically select it as master branch. Perfect. And the build command is npm run build, and publish directory, which is dist. Looks good. You can add the environment variables if you have. I'll just deploy this. Perfect. Just wait for a few minutes. Yes, the application is deployed. I'm going to click on this and it is opening in a new tab, Musify admin panel. Awesome. Perfect. So next what I will do is I'm going to just enter the email address, the admin email address. We can verify it. admin@musify.com, password admin123. Click login and just wait for a few seconds. We should have see this loader. Perfect. Awesome. You can see now we can able to log into the admin dashboard, add song, list songs, and add album, list album. Everything looks good. Now what I will do is first let's add the album. Since this is a production database, right now there are no entries. Let's go to the add album. I'm going to upload the image. I'm going to select the albums and I will just select the Hey Jawani, Hey Diwani, and I will select the song also. So let's add this album, which is Hey Jawani, Hey Diwani. Okay, and the album description, Hindi romantic movie. All right, the background color, I am going to select this color and click add. We should see this loader and it will automatically add the album cover into the database. Album added. We can verify it. Let's go to the list album and boom, you can see now we have this album name, description, the theme color, and the actions, which is delete. Total albums is 1. Let's verify it in the MongoDB database, the production database, and I'm going to just refresh this. Perfect. We have this albums and we can see 1 album. Let's also add some songs. Let's go to the browser, go to the add song, upload the song, which is Ilahi. Click open, upload the image and the song name, which is Ilahi, and song description, romantic song or inspirational song, and album Hey Jawani, Hey Diwani. Click add and just wait for a few minutes, not minutes, just wait for a few seconds. It will upload the song as well as the cover. And let's go to the list songs. Perfect. We can see the song has been added, duration, everything perfect, and the total songs is 1. If I go to the MongoDB database and let's refresh this, and we should see this songs collection and we should able to see the document. Perfect. The next thing is we have to, I'm going to open up the the user application, which is where the user can listen the songs. I'm going to just open this WebStorm and I'm going to minimize this. Okay, here we have this Musify app. Okay, and first of all what I will do is I'm going to add the URL. So auth context, go to the auth context and get rid of this. We can add the production URL. Let's go to our render.com and copy this production URL and paste it and save this. Now we need to create a one more repository. Go to the database, not the database, go to the GitHub, and I'm going to create a new repository. Let's add the repository name, Musify production app user. Okay, this is for the user panel, and I'm going to change this to private and click on this create repository. Perfect, we have created this repository. I'm going to just copy this remote URL and go to the WebStorm. I'll just open the terminal, initialize the git init, git add dot. It is going to add all the files into the staging area. Git commit, we're going to add the commit message. This is going to be an initial commit. Git, let's add the remote URL. Perfect. I'm going to just enter the password. Perfect. Now I'm going to push this into the remote repository. It will create the master branch. Git push origin master. Perfect. Let's go to the repository and refresh this. Perfect. Now we have pushed into this Musify production app server app user repository. Now we can go to our Netlify and I will create a one more project. We are going to deploy this. Add new project, import an existing project, select the GitHub. We have already authorized it. So let's select the repository, which is Musify production app user. Yeah, this is the one that we're going to deploy it. Just select this, and the branch to deploy is master branch. You can add the environment variables if you have, and the build command is npm run build. Dist is the published directory. Everything remains as it is. Just go ahead and click on this deploy Musify production user, and with this, just wait for a few seconds. It will deploy this and we will get the live URL. Alright, the application is deployed and we get this live URL. Just click on this and boom, you can see now our application is deployed to the production server. It is available. First, let's create the new user. Let's enter the email address bhushan@example.com, password 123456, confirm password 123456. Click on this. It will create the account. Boom, you can see the registration successful. Let's enter the email address, password 123456, sign in. Boom, you can see we have logged in, and also we get this album name and the song. Log out, the name and everything that remains same, right? I'm going to just play this song. We can pause this, we can play this. Alright, that's it. Let's click on this logout. Boom, we have logged out. Awesome. Now our application is working. Both the admin panel as well as the user panel, both are working. Thank you so much for watching. This is the deployment. I hope you can also deploy your application into Render as well as to the Netlify. Once you deployed it, please share the live URL in the comment section of the video, or you can email me. I will provide my email address in the description section of the video. I would love to see your work as well. Thank you. I will see you in the next video.